Mumbai. Thank you for being here. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. A big thank you also to Sony Pictures Sports Network. As you do know, our English commentary is on Sony 10.1 and our Hindi commentary is on Sony 10.3. This is the big one that you've all been waiting for. So here we go. Neeraj Tomar presents Platinum Heavy Duty Cement Battleground Asia, powered by Amity University Boxing Academy, presented by Dabur Shilajit Gold. Before we introduce the boxers, I'm going to call two gentlemen in the ring to join me who have played a huge part in making this evening happen here in Mumbai, and in a larger sense, taking professional boxing ahead in our part of the world. First, it's a pleasure for me to call upon my friend of many years. We have many stories to share about promoting professional boxing. Will Neerav Tomar of iOS, the chief, walk in here with me? Neerav? Oh yeah, you've got the trends for this fight, all right. Thank you for making it happen. A quick shake of the hand. We're not going to speak to you tonight. I just want to show everybody here who made it happen. Raise your hand. There you go. Thank you, Neerav. Well done. May I also have the pleasure now of welcoming somebody who we all desperately do need to take professional boxing forward. He is the chairman of the WBC Asia Pacific leg. Can we please have Mr. Leon Palacio here with me? Mr. Leon Palacio, there you are. Thank you for your support to this fight. Let me help you in. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed yourself so far, and hope that you will continue supporting the rise, the development of professional boxing in our part of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. Thank you again for your patience and your presence. Do please warmly welcome from Urumqi in China, Zulpikar Maimaitiali.
Enter the Dragon, representing China. It's the unbeaten Zulpikar Maimaitiali. And listen to this, it's not exactly a warm reception, but the Dragon is coming on to face the Tiger. And look into his eyes, Navi. This is one Tiger, one Dragon, I should say, that means business. He's calm, he's focused, he's coming past us now. And his camp look very confident.
Yes, and six victories, just one draw. He's explosive, he's got a very powerful shot, and Vijender, who's known for, an ironclad defense, will have to be at his best against the Dragon from China.
The atmosphere here is building, fever pitch. There is no question this will be the toughest test of Vijender Singh's career, with literally everything on the line. His undefeated record, his Asian title, and of course, Zulpikar's Oriental title.
Yeah, Zulpikar is a big Bollywood fan. He likes watching Indian movies. Amir Khan is his favorite actor. Well, there are lots. A chance for him to show Mumbai that he's a deserving champion.
As always, Vijender looks relaxed, but I'm looking at Zulpikar. He's relaxed too, and look, that's nice to see with the tensions between India and China. The two pugilists coming together.
For the national anthems, first of China, followed by the national anthem of India, to mark, respect this fantastic contest here tonight. Thank you for being here and for rising for the national anthems. Thailand. Ref, it's all yours. Before that, though, I'm going to just quickly introduce the two boxers in greater detail. First, in the blue corner, all of 23 years old, 6 feet tall, 75.9 kilos, a pro record of 8 victories and 1 draw. from Urumqi in China, it is Zulpikar Maimaitiali, the WBO Oriental Super Middleweight champion. And his opponent in the red corner, now 32, also 6 feet tall, weighing in at 76 kilograms, an unbeaten professional record of 8 fights, 8 wins. From the cradle of boxing in India, Bhiwani, Haryana, please welcome Vijender, the Knockout Singh!
Okay, Vijender, Zulpikar, I already gave your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
The sound then, reading the last instructions of these boxers before they go toe-to-toe in this title versus title clash. Will it be Vijender unifying the WBO Asia Pacific and WBO Oriental Super Middleweight champions, or will it be, from China, Zulpikar Maimaitiali? There can be only one king in Asia, and who that king in Asia is, we're about to find out.
Yes, and he's a southpaw. He could cause him trouble. Zulpikar is a southpaw, very dangerous customer. There they start. Patrick.
Great sportsmanship shown in the build-up to this fight by both boxers. One or two things, I think, taken out of context by the media. Vijender Singh, obviously, in the saffron green and white trunks, and the rather colourful green, black and yellow sported by the Chinese Zulpikar Maimaitiali. The crowd hush in anticipation to see who'll take the early advantage here. And so far, both fighters understandably relatively cagey.
A tentative start, that is expected, and Vijender, of course, has an impeccable defence and good footwork. I think it is Zulpikar who will have to go on the aggression, go on the front foot, as they say.
Well, we know with his amateur pedigree, his vast boxing experience, Vijender should have the boxing number of Maimaitiali, but can he avoid the power, the raw power and strength that Maimaitiali undoubtedly brings to the table in this, his 10th professional clash? Remember, not only are the titles on the line here, a big jump up the WBO rankings awaits the winner, and also, Novi, barring a draw, someone's O has got to go.
Yes, definitely. So far, very cagey. Hush of expectation all over the crowd, over 5,000 people with many celebrities also gathered over here for this, the final round, the big title
with the right there, that was the first proper contact. Zulpikar with the right smile. Zulpikar coming forward, Vijender catching with the counter with that right, but still we were waiting for the first real start of the Kerry Hope fight when Vijender won the title a year ago, almost to the week.
Yes, Vijender's defensive work has increased massively. The way he keeps his guard up and moves away from danger.
Zulpikar going with that right there, trying to make contact. Vijender aligned to it, caught him with the left there. Zulpikar did make contact with the left there, and they're both having a clinch now. The referee, Danny Rex, will get in between them and separate them. But as you'd expect, are both fighters, I think, treating each other with maximum respect here in the early stages, with so much on the line.
Certainly, so much on the line, as well as a very cagey start. We are in the last 60 seconds of the first round, which really nothing to choose between either of the boxers. Nobody's taken an initiative, and it's the southpaw sometimes causing a bit of problem to Vijender, because leading with his left, then countering with the right, and Vijender content to let Maimaitiali go on the attack. You're very right, Patrick. Very much similar to the fight against Kerry Hope.
The crowd rising to their feet now. The chant of Vijender is going up. Of course, that southpaw stance. Zulpikar coming forward inside the final 10 seconds now of round number 1. Difficult to hold this one to either man. Vijender with a smile now and a bow of the head from Zulpikar. Lovely to see this respect, but that's after 1 round. Can this respect last another 9 long, grueling rounds as this battleground of Asia erupts? There can only be one king. Round 2 next.
Watching Vijender his unbeaten run. Will it continue today? I'm Charu Sharma. I've got Patrick King on here with me. Patrick, just a very sort of testy opening round.
As you kind of expect, very similar to that Kerry Hope fight. Great to have you alongside me, Charu. We've shared some great Vijender Singh memories. Are we about to share another one, or will this turn into a Chinese nightmare? Because Maimaitiali, you can see, looks like he's in shape for this contest, certainly more so than some of Vijender's previous opponents. But Vijender's boxing ability, you know, even without doing much work, he can nick rounds here and there, and that's what he might have to do if this goes the whole distance. Remember, only once before has been Vijender gone the whole distance of a 10-round contest. That was when he won the title by unanimous decision. And that was a slightly strange move from Zulpikar there. I think he was thought about attacking and then thought better of it.
Well, yeah, but it's still very early days in this unification bout. Titles on the line. Zulpikar, we know, and got a nice right in. Can throw some heavy punches. And Vijender, just how good is his training? He never looks like he's in fantastic shape, but we know he is. And you mentioned earlier against Checker and the lot that some of his punches can be really deceptively strong. He doesn't look like he's got big arms, but such as his arm speed, his hand speed, that they do hurt.
Yeah, we've talked about his conditioning before, Vijender. I was talking to Lee Beard and John O'Williams, his trainer and fitness coach respectively. I think that's just a trait of Vijender's. I don't think he's, you know, one for the low, you know, body mass index, but one thing's for sure, he's as fit as a flea.
That was very diplomatic of you. Zulpikar throwing in a left and getting away with it. So initially we've got to say, if anybody's done some damage, it's probably Zulpikar.
Going with the right. Zulpikar beckoning him on for more, but that was the first decent contact Vijender's made.
The crowd loves it. 3 rights by Vijender. Zulpikar rocked just a bit, but he's still smiling, still early. He's only 23, he's got lots of youth. Throws a big left, misses.
Oh, caught him there with a very cheeky little left as they were coming in for the clinch, but no harm done.
So as you say, Patrick, the thing to see is how well is Vijender conditioned. It's a 10-round bout. Only once has he gone the distance with Kerry Hope. And in the middle of that fight, I did remember that Vijender was looking a little confused. How am I not able to put my opponent down? But eventually he lasted well, showed lots of good defensive skills. Little exchange.
Yeah, I think Vijender managed to land with a shot to the body there, and Zulpikar with a shot to the temple of Vijender, but still neither man has been truly rocked, and both seem relatively comfortable. If anything, if you're going to go by facial expression, Zulpikar perhaps looks slightly more concerned at this early stage, because here we are talking about Vijender's experience, and is Zulpikar a step up for him? Let's be respectful to Vijender. This is certainly a step up for Zulpikar as well.
Well, they're both fighting for these titles to retain them. The thing is, Vijender is completely unbeaten, and is that weighing on his mind? Because you don't want to now have a loss at this point. We'll take a short break. We're coming back with much more. Stick around. Do I see some concern on the fans of the Bachchan family and the faces of the Bachchan family, as well as Nirav, the promoter? Well, still very early days. 2 rounds up. They've been pretty even so far, according to me, Patrick.
Well, of course, we've had a clean sweep for Indian fighters so far. Our full 8-fight card, of course. We brought 5 of them, including this one, to you live on Sony 10-1 and Sony 10-3. It's been a clean sweep from India so far. We've seen fighters from Australia, the Philippines dispatched, and now we hope Vijender will dispatch one from China. But as we start this 3rd round, quite a comfortable beginning. Just that one body shot that certainly made contact with Vijender's torso, and Vijender himself had a couple of cheeky little knocks, but they're still trying to feel each other out. I'm imagining towards the end of this round we might start seeing some more action.
You know, one of the big things for Vijender in his entire career was the accuracy of his punches. Today, I see that missing. Well, it's just early days, so we'll see whether he can connect more accurately. But he does bide his time. He's a counter puncher. He doesn't look very aggressive, but he comes back very strongly at the right time. And of course, he has that habit of keeping boxers away with that extended left arm, just to make sure that they don't get too close.
One thing to note early on is it doesn't seem to be causing him too many problems, Vijender dealing with the southpaw. I don't think that's the issue. I think they're both just quite wary of each other. There's a mutual respect, both personally and professionally here, as we see another suggestion of a low blow.
Well, the referee just checking with Vijender that he's okay. I think he is. A quick warning to Zulpikar.
No point taken off, but that's a warning. The next time it happens, he will be docked a point.
Well, they're both listed as 6 foot tall, but I do think Vijender has a slight height advantage, perhaps an inch or so.
Might just be the haircut, but I think I agree with you there, Charu. He does certainly look the taller.
Oh, big right by Zulpikar, an overhead, and it does connect. Vijender needs to come back, and he did with that left.
Well, certainly Vijender Singh, certainly on the retreat for these brief moments. Neither men look concerned now. It's almost like they're waiting for this fight to explode. Vijender is a calm and cool person, collected at the most of times, both in and out the ring. It's served him well in his boxing career, both amateur and professional so far. And similarly, Zulpikar, quite these two, both very respectful.
Well, yes, so far lots of respect shown. One thing I've noticed though, Zulpikar every once in a while threatens to unleash and then just holds back. It's sort of like a mid-punch hold back, which is a little strange, but of course he's inflicted a fair amount of damage. I think his punches have a lot of weight behind them. Vijender seemed a little, well, I'm not saying worried, but there was a look of admiration, if anything, on a couple of punches that he rode from Zulpikar. So we know that the Chinese can punch and punch big already.
Well, he can certainly bang. That much is for sure. Just ask any of his previous 9 opponents, including that Korean that he had the draw against. There's no question Zulpikar was winning that fight before it was stopped after 2 rounds because of an accidental clash of heads. So in reality, for me, unofficially, he's 9-0 Zulpikar. But I doubt he's been in with as good a boxer as Vijender in those 9 fights. And he certainly hasn't got the amateur pedigree.
Well, perhaps not the amateur pedigree, but once again, he connected and Vijender didn't. So my reading right now is that Vijender is getting
now we've got a tumble. Now that's got to be ruled a push or a slip.
Yeah, it's just a push. The referee waves it all away. Quick clean of the gloves. But I will suggest once again, well, that's the end of the round. We'll come back.
एक बार मैं यूं ही पूछा कि
Main event of the evening, the double title fight, the Chinese Dragon against India's own Tiger. Title of the title, Vijender Singh in the saffron green and white, and Zulpikar Maimaitiali in the rather African-themed Chinese shorts. Charu Sharma alongside me. We're now into the 4th round, and Vijender, I think you're feeling it when we were talking during the commercials there, that you want to see him improve his accuracy.
Well, absolutely, because that was what he was known for, certainly his amateur career, and we can't complain about his professional career either. 8 fights, 8 wins, and why have they come? Because he was so accurate with his punching. But now I see him missing quite a bit in this fight. Well, he seems to be in the kind of shape we've always seen him, but just a little wary perhaps of the power of Zulpikar's punches, and he finds that his own are missing. Now, he is a counter puncher, and he waits and he bides his time, but he needs to land a few.
Oh, he did it right! Finally, he makes some contact with the right, but Zulpikar with another wry smile. If you go by facial expression, Zulpikar seems slightly the more concerned. Vijender doesn't betray much emotion with his face. And again, Charu, help me out here, because you're always one for correcting me, and rightly so. Is there a slight bit of swelling on Vijender's left eye? I might be imagining that. We're right here at ringside. I'm just trying to see if there's a bit of swelling. Certainly looks like some redness. Nothing to panic about just yet, but it certainly looks red.
Under his left eye for sure. Now, he's faced injuries before, so it's also a question of how much can you take, and we know that Vijender's taken quite a bit in his career. So
and again,
connected by Zulpikar. Vijender gets back a right. It's pretty even again, Patrick.
It is. This is the tough one to call, and Zulpikar for the first time some anger on his face, but still the right smiles between the two.
Well, Zulpikar also has a habit of telegraphing his big left, because he is a southpaw, and that's his big punch, the left. Listen, he does telegraph it.
Let's be clear, this is what we want to see. Very great and gracious of Vijender to take this fight on. This is a proper title fight. No messing around here, as this time Zulpikar Maimaitiali takes a tumble to the floor, which the referee rules won't count for anything, and he's smiling with a tap to the back of his head. But no, there's great respect here, and this is what we want to see. I would put to you that when you look at the quality of these two fighters, this is the best fight, not just the biggest, the best fight that India has ever seen in professional boxing.
Quite possible, Patrick. Let's bill it that for now, because it certainly is. Vijender's not getting away easily. A big right by Vijender, right on the button.
Was there a wobble?
Zulpikar comes back.
Wow! Zulpikar had a slight wobble there.
The crowd comes to life, as does Vijender here. And that's what we were talking about. How much will the crowd lift? And once again, perhaps a low blow. The referee warning Zulpikar. Vijender quite happy to indicate there was a low blow. Zulpikar a little bemused.
Well, it won't be too much longer before Zulpikar will start losing points for this. Now he's asked Vijender to confirm it was a low blow. Is he taking off 1 point there? Let's wait and see. Is this an official warning, or is he taking off 1 point? No notification that it was a point off. He's put time back on, so we'll assume that no point was deducted, but he's on thin ice now, Zulpikar.
Well, he's close to getting docked twice now. The referee has been, well, I must say, pretty fair, because it's so unfair to dock a boxer a point. You suddenly feel like you're on the lower end of the scale there with a penalty.
Well, Vijender, for the first time in this fight, slightly edging ahead, you feel. This was certainly a big round for Vijender Singh as we enter the final seconds of it. Vijender Singh takes round 4 in Mumbai.
Hugely ahead so far. Now, he's had the habit of knocking out opponents in the second, third round. We know he went the distance with hope, but otherwise he's been pretty effective against his opponents. Today, we can sense that it's going to be a really tough encounter. For sure, it should go all the way to 10 rounds.
And of course, when you know you're facing someone with the punching power of Zulpikar Maimaitiali, you cannot take your eye off him for a moment, because they say in boxing, one punch can change a fight, and never truer words were spoken. And Vijender on the attack there on the counter. Rocked, I think, momentum more than anything, rocked Zulpikar back, but the Chinese fighter, for the first time, looking a little bit uncomfortable, Charu.
Oh, big couple of punches, a left and a right. And Vijender could feel the heat of that. We here at ringside could hear that. But Vijender once again sticking to his strategy of just extending his left hand.
Oh, he got him with that right. The right came across and made contact. And all of a sudden, in the fourth and at the start of the fifth, it's Vijender with the telling strikes.
Well, I've got to say once again, not being partisan, they are very level. Maybe a low blow there by Vijender as well. Zulpikar's not complaining, not yet. In fact, a smile on his face. Big lefts thrown by the southpaw, Maimaitiali, and equally big the rights of Vijender. The only advantage that Vijender may have is those little flicks, those little jabs with his left hand, and they don't do too much damage, but they keep the opponent away.
There is already a lot of evidence here that the excellent Lee Beard, and of course the fitness coach John Williams, a great team they've got there at the gym in Manchester, England. You can already tell that there's been a lot of preparation and work got into playing and fighting against the southpaw.
As you were saying. Maimaitiali is certainly causing a lot of damage here with his big left.
He can bang, we can know that. Vijender can box, so who wins, the banger or the boxer? Vijender now going on the assault, and all of a sudden they're both unloading toe-to-toe. Vijender coming back for more. The niceties are slowly but surely. Oh, very evident that Vijender Singh, as you'd expect, we're doing a lot of work fighting a southpaw here. Lee Beard clearly been preparing him thoroughly for this, and Zulpikar as well. Looks like he's come here with about the main event. We're approaching the halfway stage, champion against champion. India against China. Vijender Singh certainly coming out strong in rounds 4 and 5, and as we pass the halfway mark, Charu, I think Vijender's going to be pretty happy, but at the same time very wary that Zulpikar's still very much in this fight, and we've seen he can certainly throw them.
Well, Zulpikar's come in with some big lefts, that's what we have to say. Vijender has been hurt, he's come back with a few of his own. Not quite the more aggressive of the two, Vijender, but great counter-punching. And watch that extended left hand of his jabbing away, just irritating Zulpikar more than anything else. But it's the big right that we wait for from Vijender. Once again, a low blow. Vijender complains, and the referee has no choice but to send them back to neutral corners.
It cannot be long before a point comes off here, and I think it's going to happen now. 1 point goes off, it was only a matter of time. And bearing in mind, we've been talking about this fight being very close, just will that come back to haunt him? At this level, when fighters are this evenly matched, losing a point can be devastating, Charu.
Well, true, he had the opportunity, he was won twice, and I'm not suggesting that he's doing it deliberately. It happens in the heat of the contest, and now he needs to do so much more to get past that 1 point that he was docked. And sometimes, of course, when you're over-aggressive, it could turn against you. Well, Vijender will watch out for that.
To put it into context, most of these rounds have been quite tight. They'll be certainly scored 10-9 or 10 each either way. And if you lose a point, you might lose a round you otherwise levelled up with. And with this fight being so close, that could come back to haunt him. And that left almost caught Vijender. Vijender comes straight back with the right. And then Zulpikar with the right and comes in to try and make contact with the body. And then now I think Zulpikar's asking for a low blow. Nothing doing with referee Danimex Taptasan.
Well, there haven't been too many flurries, but there have been big punches. Zulpikar tries a right, misses completely, but Vijender is still biding his time. Looks like he hasn't really given off 100% yet, just saving it up. We know it's a long fight. Like I said, it might go all the way to 10, and you do need the energy in those final few rounds to impress the judges.
Referee tapped his hand, stepping in between them. He's having to do plenty of that. There's plenty of clinching going on. Still 4 rounds left after this one. Remember, this 10-round title fight for the WBO Asia Pacific Championship held by Vijender, and the Oriental title in the WBO at the super middleweight division held by Zulpikar Maimaitiali. One of these men, in around about 15 minutes' time, will have 2 belts hoist around their waist and in the air. But who's it going to be? I'm still none the wiser, Charu, and we're 42 seconds away from the end of round 6.
Well, just those light left jabs by Vijender. They're not going to hurt us again!
Vijender's been out, no! Has he rolled a slip there? I would fight with the back of Vijender there. For a minute, I thought...
But he does look winded, Vijender.
Yeah, for a minute there, I thought he went down. I wouldn't mind seeing that on a replay. Zulpikar doesn't seem unhappy so much. Agree it was a slip, but I think you're right, Charu. I think Vijender did get hurt with that. Slip or no slip, Vijender was rocked.
And Zulpikar came in with another big left, so Zulpikar certainly hurting the super middleweight champ from India.
And there's a hush in the dome at the NSCI at the moment. A concerned hush that we didn't hear during the Kerry Hope and Francis Checker fights. But Vijender comes back, trying to rock himself.
A big right by Vijender. Zulpikar, of course, pretends it didn't hurt him with a crowd like that.
Test as a professional, it was ruled a slip, that tumble to the floor in the previous round, but I think there was certainly some contact from Zulpikar that aided him going down, shall we say, although it must be fair that Maimaitiali didn't appeal to the referee for it to be called a knockdown. Even more extraordinary when you bear in mind, if you are just joining us, Maimaitiali in that previous round docked a point for low blows after being given several warnings by referee Danimax Tapdasan. So Zulpikar, if it does go to points, is automatically at a 1-point disadvantage. But I agree with you, Charu. Vijender's got to be very careful now as we enter these later rounds. With these 2 titles on the line, any mistake at this point could be fatal.
Zulpikar not quite breathing as heavily as we think Vijender is. Well, he is older by several years, by about, what, 9 years or so. Plenty of experience, but we've got to say Zulpikar, the younger boxer, seems to have more energy and certainly a lot of weight behind that big left. He connects again. Vijender's rocked.
He's starting to blow. I'm just keeping an eye on that left eye that we've talked about. So far, doesn't seem to be getting any worse. I don't see any marks at the moment on the face of Zulpikar Maimaitiali, although that might soon change the way Vijender's coming forward now. And we're not too far away as well, Charu, from knowing which of these 2 guys has had the harder camp and who's got the higher fitness levels. That's certainly going to play a factor. This isn't a repeat of the Niraj Goyat fight where both fighters, I think, are going to finish still swinging after 12 rounds. I get the impression one or both of these guys is going to tire badly.
Well, another big right uppercut attempted by Vijender, but again the accuracy is missing. Didn't
now
quite
Zulpikar
contain the precision that we've seen
okay
in the past by Vijender.
There was a grimace there from Zulpikar, but referee asked him if he was all right. He said he was, but there's certainly a grimace. Another, he turned at his ankle and he took a wild lunge there, and Vijender choosing not to follow up that opportunity to keep him in the corner and just probing with that left jab.
Well, some good defensive work shown just a few seconds away by Vijender. And these clinches, Patrick, are getting longer and longer, indicating that both are feeling the heat here.
Well, it's an incredible contrast to our WBC Asian welterweight bout, which is the previous fight with Niraj Goyat and Alan Tandana going at it toe-to-toe for 12 rounds. They look like they fancy going 12 more. These guys, I think the adrenaline and the occasion is certainly possibly taking its toll. And Vijender, oh, he caught it. I think Vijender was caught with a little tap there as Danimax tried to get between them.
Well, yeah.
Concerned faces in the crowd here at the Dome. Vijender Singh involved in a nail-biter against Zulpikar Maimaitiali, and we've just been watching Charu Sharma alongside me and myself. Some work being done on that left eye that we identified of Vijender Singh very early in this fight, being slightly swelled up. Certainly nothing, no major cause for concern yet, Charu, but this is nervous times. Just 3 rounds to go, or under 3 rounds now. And will that point that Zulpikar was docked still turn out to be one of the turning points and differences in this fight, if it does get to points?
Well, Vijender snuck in a right. That would help, but it didn't seem to worry Zulpikar too much. And really now, with 2.5 rounds to go, it's about time that one of them steps it up, because it's too close for me to call. They do need to step it up now. Let's see what kind of energy they have left.
Oh, Vijender trying to go for the body, and Zulpikar replying in kind. And Zulpikar, with that wild swinging left, catches Vijender. Vijender smiles and shrugs it off. I think there's still some punches to be thrown in this one in the remaining 8 minutes and 4 seconds that we've got to enjoy here live on Sony 10.1 and Sony 10.3 and on the Sony Pictures Network all over the world. These pictures being filmed and beamed to Fightfold, cheering on Vijender, and of course the huge Chinese population worldwide getting behind their man Zulpikar. When you think that these two men represent the two biggest countries on the planet, what a sight and spectacle this is.
Well, this is not Vijender's style, but he's being forced to, because he's a counter-puncher, comes in, punches and leaves, and makes sure that he doesn't get hurt. But right now, late in this 8th round, he has no choice but to pile on the aggression.
Are you impressed, Charo, with how he's been coping facing a southpaw? You couldn't really say in the aftermath of this fight, win, lose or draw, that it was the southpaw style that gave him some problems, and there were certainly no problems facing a southpaw as he came forward with that one too.
Well, it was an exchange. Both got a punch in. The crowd, of course, love their boxers right. But Zulpikar also snuck in a big, big punch. Oh, this is continuing to be so even for me, Patrick.
Keep coming back to that point that was docked in the middle rounds. And if it's as close as you think it is, Charo, and I've given up scoring after the Niraj Goyat fight, if it's as close as that point could still be the turning.
Well, you make an important point, because, yeah, for me it's very close, and it does appear that that one point that was docked earlier for low blows will hurt Zulpikar in the end. But we don't quite know. We're not guessing here. It's just
I think they're
tight.
They're both tiring here, but Vijender seems to be gassing more than Zulpikar. Those gulps of air that he's going for in the clinches are getting heavier and heavier, Vijender. And I wonder if Zulpikar's corner, bearing in mind he's had that point deduction, will tell him, bearing in mind he's in India, and not accusing anyone of anything, but we know how hard it is to get decisions. That's just the way it is in sport, never mind boxing. I wonder if Zulpikar's corner will send him out for 9 and 10, really having a go as we enter the final seconds of the 8th round of this championship thriller, as blood pours out of Vijender Singh's nose and he's caught with the right, and then Zulpikar catches Vijender twice, and Vijender Singh needed the belt badly. With Vijender Singh looking in a spot of bother, you are looking concerned, my friend.
Well, I certainly am, and a lot of the people here at the Dome in NSCI are too. Vijender has absorbed a lot of punishment in that previous round. That nosebleed, well, it has been taken care of, but Zulpikar moved in so quickly, knowing they had an opportunity. You mentioned about that one point that he was docked, but he came back in the last round and perhaps has erased the possibility of that 1 point dock being hurtful to him.
Yep. But you still get the feeling that the winner of these 9th and 10th rounds will be the winner of this fight. I think it's that important. It's that close. We've seen the scoring can be quietly unpredictable, but I think the winner of 9 and 10 takes home both the titles. Will it be Vijender Singh or Zulpikar Maimaitiali? A scrappy start to this 9th, Charo.
Well, it's now or never. Vijender knows that, and I don't see his punches increasing in accuracy. And obviously he's tired. Both the boxers are. But for me, Zulpikar still has a lot of energy, and well, we keep talking about youth and experience. Vijender has the experience, but the youth of Zulpikar is certainly coming to good use today. Misses that big right, but Vijender really needs to come back and come back strong for me if he is to assure himself of victory here today.
I'm just looking around this magnificent arena at the Dome at the NSCI in Mumbai, and there are some stony faces as Vijender goes down again. Now, Vijender goes down. I wonder if he's just using this. He does look genuinely hurt. I think the low blow's been caught. He's sending him to the neutral corner. Now, what is referee Danirex Taptasan going to do here? The crowd ringing out, cheater to Zulpikar. I think that's a little bit harsh.
Well, that's a bit harsh. That's unfair, because like I said, it's the heat of the moment. You don't really plan these things.
Now,
Zulpikar's already been docked to point. We'll see what the referee can do here now.
He's talking to the official to find out what's happening. Surely we're not going to see a disqualification here. That would be a most unsatisfactory ending. He's keeping Vijender in the neutral corner. Zulpikar, I think both of these guys probably are grateful for the breather they're getting here, but he's giving Zulpikar what looks like to me a final warning, is he? Happy to continue. That's very gracious of Vijender. There was no complaints of Vijender. He wanted to get back on with it, so no further punishment, seemingly, to Zulpikar. But Vijender now knows, I think you're right, Charo, he's got to make a big impression in this last 4 minutes and 15 seconds of this thrilling fight in Mumbai.
Well, there's only one man who's the aggressor here. It's Zulpikar Maimaitiali, as Vijender continues to backpedal and try and counter once in a while.
Oh, yes! He got him there!
All right!
That was a massive right, and I think Zulpikar can literally sense blood, because It's Vijender Singh's blood splattered all over the body of Zulpikar Maimaitiali.
3 rights by Vijender. They're all on target, although Zulpikar is coming back with his own, but it's good to see Vijender still having the fight in him.
Vijender Singh, I think his nose is broken. There is blood pouring, and I mean pouring out of the nose of Vijender Singh. His nose is broken for sure. He's in a bad way and he goes down, but still it's ruled a slip. Zulpikar wanted a knockdown, but he gets a slip, and look at the blood pouring out of Vijender Singh's nose. I can see the canopy of the ring is covered in the blood of the Indian champion, and these are worrying times indeed here in Mumbai.
As much from the punches as from these headbutts. They are clinching very often. Another right by Zulpikar sneaks through. Vijender backpedaling, gets another left on the face. He is hurt.
Vijender Singh is gasping. Credit to him. He's still wanting to fight here in front of these adoring fans in Mumbai, but he is in trouble here. Are we witnessing the O in Vijender Singh's impressive 8-0 record being vanquished by his unbeaten fellow champion Zulpikar Maimaitiali, who took the challenge to come to India? And
left by Vijender, sneaks through. Another right by Vijender.
And he got him again. What a great end to the 9th round.
लाख लोग जब
Thank you. All you fans who are at this
Niraj Goyat fight. Certainly no unofficial scorecards doing the round here. But you have to think Vijender Singh, even allowing for Zulpikar Maimaitiali being docked that point for the low blow in the middle of the fight, Vijender Singh needs a strong finish here. And if anything, Zulpikar was coming out as the aggressor, Charu, and he got him with a right again.
Well, Vijender's accuracy is completely missing. He is gassed. Perhaps not in the best shape, but of course he's up against a much younger, more energetic opinion. Still trying to get something going, Vijender, but it's more backpedaling than attack. And the referees, the judges will be seeing that. So much work today for Danrex Taptasan in the ring.
Yeah, Danrex Taptasan has had a lot to marshal here, and for the most part done it brilliantly. In fact, all of our BBC and WBO officials have been fantastic with us here in Mumbai on this big fight weekend. They come from all 4 corners of the globe to work with us, and they've helped make this event so special. But we've got a horrible feeling that it's not going to get the end, this magical battleground Asia that we all wanted to see, because Vijender Singh is struggling and he's grabbing on, he's holding on with 1 minute 45 to go. Can Vijender Singh find a magic punch from somewhere to turn the tide of this fight around? Vijender Singh is almost out on his feet at this point. He's still managing to gather some energy from somewhere, but Zulpikar knows he's got his number. Can Vijender Singh hang on, and can the judges come to his rescue?
Vijender certainly did well enough in the opening few rounds, and of course that one point that was docked for the low blow for Zulpikar. Wonder how much that will have as an effect on the result.
But you called it at the very early stage, Charu. One of the trademarks of Vijender has been his economy and his accuracy and his punches, and it's just not been there today. Whether that's due to inactivity or the ability of the opponent, we just don't know. But this isn't the Vijender Singh we know and love, and it's to his credit, even having an off day with a minute to go in the 10th, he's still in there pitching to win both belts.
Well, this is one of the toughest situations I've ever seen Vijender in. Of course, in his amateur career, he had a few tough fights, but this one, we've got to say, Zulpikar has done some terrific work. Heavy blows, lots of aggression, and Vijender now has just a few seconds to try and come back and take this decisively. Very close. At one point that we saw him getting docked earlier, Zulpikar. Wonder what effect it's going to have, but he's done a lot of damage to our champion here, Vijender.
Well, the best they can give Vijender a 10-8 in that round, but not much more. The crowd are on their feet, they're trying to send something, and now all of a sudden Zulpikar looks a bit gassed. Is he calling another low blow there? Surely not another low blow. Now, I was saying that he's not, is he talking on the leg there? Is it another point now? We'll wait for the clarification, doesn't appear another point came off.
The final blows. Zulpikar's done so well. Vijender, last ounce of energy, gets in the right. Zulpikar attacking once again. It's all very scrappy.
Vijender goes down, it's ruled another slip. We're into the final seconds. Both these men, whoever's going to lose has gone out swinging. It's been an absorbing, thrilling encounter, and Vijender Singh has been taken to parts of the professional boxing ring that he's never been to before.
There we go, the end of a superlative fight. Vijender's record might be in danger, but we will see. Zulpikar has done so much hard work here today. Credit to the Chinese. Lots of heavy blows. Vijender lasting out the 10 rounds, but not with his